Hello everyone, welcome to Technology Management Unit number 4. So in this unit, we're going to be talking about the e-environment. So, the first of all, I want you, well, if you have the time, because this is a little bit of a longer video. In this video, we will gonna be talking about price discrimination or dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing from the side of the e-retailers, and then price discrimination from the side of the consumers. And you'll see how by analyzing a lot of the environment, which I mean the e-environment, where the consumers are, what they do, their online behavior, how they manage to set different prices according to the cookies they left in your computer, and well, you can just quickly watch it and then get an idea of how this happens. So anyways, let's go to, not this one, let's go into more things. So in this case, we're going to talk about, wow, what happened there? I was trying to fly to the other side, but I couldn't. Sorry, guys. Okay, so in this case, we have e-commerce. So in this case, we are talking about the SLEP factors, which is, first of all, we have the social factors. Yeah, this one, the social factors and technology are very, very complex, because in the end, we really don't understand how consumers work, their behavior. We're trying to make sense out of it in the e-environment, but still is it's very difficult to predict how it's gonna work. Let's take, for example, the case of well, a couple crazes. For example, the Angry Birds. It was a game that perhaps in the beginning it didn't have much pick up, but in the end it picked up a lot. It ended up having a lot of merchandising, and the conditions led to it. So in the merchandising, movies, etc. Or for example, the case of Fortnite. It had an exponential grow because of some players of the NFL and the NBA, if I'm not wrong. They were playing the video game, and then that started to exponentially grow. And again, the social factors of it, the young people started to follow. There started to be championships, and now with the corona, which is adding more wood to the fire, there was a very big number of users enrolling to sign up for it, because people spending a lot of time at home. So anyways, again, technology and sociology are two things that are really, really complex, because as much as in traditional marketing, we kind of understood how consumers were to work, because they were to move more in in a collective way, but now it's more in an individualistic way, so it's hard for us to predict. And the second thing, we also have to do an environmental scanning of the legal and ethical factors. So in this case, what can we sell online, and whether those products also are affecting somehow the consumer, how they're using that, how are we using also the safety in terms of the consumers' information, no? Like credit cards, addresses, etc., or simple as Facebook, how we share the information with third parties and then sell it, right? Because that's what Facebook do. Here I always highlight that if you think that a platform is free, you better think twice. No company works for free. You are the product. Your information is the product. So, and they are using it. There's no such thing as free. There's no free Tinder. There's no free Facebook, no free Instagram. It generates information, which ultimately is sold. And then again, we go to the ethical factors. Is it ethical to sell my information? Well, it is ethical the moment that you remember when you sign up for Instagram and there was a big thing to read, but you never read it. There you go. You agreed to it. So anyways, again, we go to the economic factors. Also, we can talk about how the e-environment moves according to economic factors. In the end, we start to see, for example, many consumers are switching to online behavior because of reduced prices, and that will go together with economies that perhaps need more competitive prices, or again, we have to understand how the economy is moving. Again, together with the previous one, there's also social changes of what people way people behave. People don't go to malls anymore, they rather buy things online, and precisely again is because of the different economic factors. No, we also talk about political factors in terms of how governments are regulating the internet. It's becoming more and more difficult because there's more regulations. However, the biggest problem is that technology is not able, governments are not being able to cope with the rapid move of technology. Technology is moving too quickly, and whenever we have a regulation that already addresses a certain problem, a new way to go around comes in, right? So, yeah, this is a very big challenge for governments, but I think they have to ramp up. Problem is, we saw, I don't know if you saw it, last 1-2 years ago. Well, they've been calling, for example, Mark Zuckerberg to testify at the Congress. But the congressmen, they don't understand technology. They don't understand how it works, how it moves, and that creates a very big problem, because how can you regulate if you really don't understand? No, so that doesn't work. They need really experts working together with them. And then, as we say, the technological factors now, the moment that there's the new technologies, how we're going to use them to benefit, how we're going to make profits out of it, and what are the implications as well. No, if we see any technology, like for example the wearable glasses, what are the implications of these wearable glasses? So now, again, we have to think of factors governing the e-commerce service adoption. So first of all, why would you use the platform? So first of all, the cost of access. So in this case, what is your cost of accessing as compared to going out? Now we have a special situation of Corona that regardless of it, you're going to be doing shopping online, and there's a major increase of online shopping and online services that require very little contact with someone else. So anyways, in this case, actually this coronavirus is making a whole digital transformation at an exponential level that we have not seen it. The internet was ready for it, but there was still a lot of rejection to adoption of internet platforms. But because of this situation, it's exponentially growing. Restaurants that initially were like, nah, I don't want to provide services online, or so, now it's you deliver online or you die. You provide services online or you die. The same thing for universities. I don't want to switch to online courses. You switch to online or you switch to online. So in this case, we also talk about the value proposition. What is the internet offering that the local retailer is not offering to you? In this case, it could be maybe more variety of products, personalization. What is really what we're talking about there? We also talk about the rejection because of the ease of use. If it's too difficult to use, you will not use it. So you have to design, if you want e-commerce to work well, you have to design it in a way that is attractive, that it really makes a consumer click and stay there and make the transaction. Because in the end, there's no point that you just browse, easy to browse, but when I want to buy, I cannot buy. Typical case of me buying things in Korea. I click, and then the last one, I cannot do it. We have again security. If you feel that your money is not going to be theft, stolen, if you feel that the product is going to have the size that you want, you can have a refund, etc., that will create security. And also together with your data, that I'm going to put my credit card and there's nothing's going to happen. And then finally, we have, of course, the fear of the unknown. We don't know what could possibly happen if we consume this service. This has happened a lot lately, that they saying what's going to happen with TikTok. This is a crazy thing. TikTok is really the Chinese company using our data. Well, yes, again, remember, no service is free. So they were saying that, but what kind of information they can pull? Just teenagers dancing? No, the problem is there's geolocation, there's advertising, there's no sensitive information, but however, there's information that can be sold and they can be accessed, and you can create a lot of insights out of that data. So it is true that that data can be used. I don't think it can be used for negative things, but I don't know. Things that we have to think about. So again, for this one, we have to understand the user's access requirements, which is we have to understand, again, when we do the environmental analysis, where they use it, what's their location, is it home or mobile, how are they using, what kind of device they're using, is it mobile or fixed computer, the ISP, where are they connecting from, I mean, where are they connecting from in terms of who's the company providing the service, because also we can have better offers if we have a different service user, the experience level, how you use it, when you use it, how proficient you are on using that. So again, in this case, you see, for example, the case of using advertisements on Instagram works very well because they understand the users know how to use it, they know how to click, where to go, what to click, what not to click, and how to maintain you entertained, or how to clickbait you, right? You see, this, you wouldn't believe what this guy can do in 5 minutes. Then you go and click. There, you fell off for that one. Okay. Anyways, so in this case, we have to think of how the consumers are influenced using the online channel. What's their buyer behavior and motivation? So in this case, for example, when we talk about, for example, the buyer behavior, again, I'm going to go to the example of buying diamonds online. Am I just going to go and browse their different models, or am I going to buy it, or what am I going to do? What's my intention in there, right? Comparing, buying, getting information, what am I going to do online? And then also we have, again, marketers are developing psychographic segmentations, which is your lifestyle, how you live, what you work, what you want, what you see, and in this case, of course, generate information. Generate information that is useful. Again, why Facebook, Instagram, etc., this social media is so successful, because they pull a lot of information that in the end creates psychographic segmentations for marketers. They are selling information, compiling, setting it up, and say, okay, these guys use this platform to look at these products. So in this case, if we want to advertise this product, we're going to use it through this platform. So again, here I have motivations, plenty of them. You want to belong to a certain community. Like for example, me, I belong to the Gundam community, so I paint things, or cycling community. Entertainment, you go and see, rate things, have fun, like 9gag, product trial, so makeup things, information, maybe you want to read something, transaction like a PayPal, game like Fortnite, survey like Survey Monkey, downloads like torrents or any other, interaction which like social media, search like Google, exploration also like Google, or news like BBC. So we have many motivations for using online services. Okay. So here we have, for example, the development of experience of internet usage. So here we have, for example, slow, which is technically complex or financially risky. So in this case, if it's gonna take you longer time, if it's a situation that really requires you to spend more money, for example, like a car or buy a house, you will spend more time. Then we have medium, research for complex decisions, which you have, like, again, the amount of activity is higher, because in the end you plan more things, maybe some clothing, and fast and simple search decisions, which you can just search or browse some small things. So here, for example, we have in this continuum, we have email, search engine, surfing, just click, simple, no problem. Research, offline purchases, travel, car, and starts to move already into higher things. Okay. So in this case, we have the privacy and trust in e-commerce. We have, again, the ethical standards. How, as a company, you are going to set a standard of ethical behavior online. You're not going to be using the clickbait. You're not going to use fake news, fake information to attract everyone. The second thing in privacy, personal data, identities, cookies, how you share them with them. Again, are you using them in an ethical method or not? And that's something that, again, the governments are struggling with, because what is the standard for saying you can share or not a certain information of the consumer. So in this case, information that has some certain legislation and we can keep. So in this case, for example, will be I have an agreement with you. The moment that you sign up for Facebook, I have a certain agreement that I can use certain information. For example, how you click, your name, your number. I can use it, right? So in this case, again, different countries will have different legislations on this. And that goes together. I mean, again, we go when we're doing online, our behavior is traced. How? By cookies. Okay, so tip of the day. Well, I don't know this tip of the day or not. Whenever you say, do you accept these cookies? I never accept them. But on the other hand, the internet is becoming more efficient because of the cookies. Because they know how we behave, you can get better offers and you can get better, you can personalize more what you're looking for. So cookies are good and cookies are bad. Cookies are bad because they know too much about you. Cookies are good because the internet is developing because of them. So in this case, we have different types of cookies, persistent cookies. They stay on the user's computer between multiple sessions. Usually when you accept those cookies, happens because of like that. We have temporary or session cookies. You go through an e-commerce site and then just for that session isn't there, but that's it. They don't stay on your computer for good. We have also first-party cookies served by the site that you're currently using. In this case, again, it also can be persistent or session cookies. It depends, but it's provided mostly by that specific website. And then we have third-party cookies. Again, in this case, we have third-party companies that will track remotely your computer and where you are, and usually are persistent cookies. And this one you have to be very careful. For example, when we are in a website and appears an advertising and you click it, likely you will have third-party cookies, meaning a third-party company is watching them, installing the cookies in your computer, and you are somehow observed, like a malware almost, because you're always being observed by them. So now here on this slide, I'm gonna go sideways. This is environmental and green issues related to internet usage. So some people say that there's more waste, some people feel there's less waste. Some research says that yes, our carbon footprint is lesser by doing online because we don't have to go to the shop and use a car, etc. But some others say that actually is more. I'm gonna show you one video here. I'm gonna later. I'm gonna put a video of that arguing a different thing. Again, both sides of the coins. And we can say there's more waste because there's more packaging. Actually, less packaging. No, actually they don't consolidate. Depends on the brand, but usually it comes 3, 4 boxes when you order something rather than a large box with different things. Mostly because they come from different facilities or producer or sailors or so. Again, in this case, I'm just gonna go for that. Taxation is also a very big issue because where to tax home country, foreign country, for what goods, etc., etc. So we have a very big problem in tax jurisdiction because in the end we have to see where we tax the person, right? So in this case we have the e-economy. So again, the e-economy is all of this one that is moving through the nation, cities, and businesses and governments to achieve a social or economic good. So in this case, again, it's positive because we see numbers moving, the economies are moving, companies are getting more profits, but again, are those profits only gained by a few ones? Then the distribution of the wealth is not equitable because we have Amazon getting too much power, and then they are also bullying also small producers, small sellers, and that's not equitable nor ethic. There's many companies complain about Amazon and how they bully them because they force them to pay things or do things that they don't want. So this is pretty much the e-economy, right? This one you can read it on your own. You can go a little bit into that, into how the e-economy works in terms of market, political, and infrastructure, right? We can say that also an e-economy will move faster when we have a good infrastructure, a digital infrastructure, and also when the climate is ready in terms of political and infrastructural. We can say that also the market should be ready, meaning companies that are able to have the capability to distribute, to sell, to put the places, to place the products in your house. So again, in this case, well, I already talked about the political factors. I already talked a lot about that, so I'm just going to skip it in there. And we have also the internet governance, which is again, we go back to jurisdiction of the internet services, what you can do, what you cannot do, what you can access, how you can freely access, etc. Right? Right now, we are in an era of the free internet. We are still in a golden era. But that's going to happen because the moment that, for example, Google, if the internet moves in the wrong direction, say if you want to Google something, they're going to charge you for using Google. They're going to charge you for using many different platforms. So in the end, that's not the free internet that we want. So in this case, we have to be very careful of where the governance of internet moves in the future. This one we have here, for example, of different technologies that have been working and how they plan to develop. Here there's many things, and actually this is a bit of outdated, but anyways, you can see tons of technologies, how they moved, and how we have to do an analysis of the environment. For example, nowadays some of the most used technologies or trending technologies can be, for example, digital twins or virtual reality or artificial intelligence. We see a lot of that. The development of those technologies is pretty much what is trending right now. And also, of course, I forgot this one, that quantum computing. Quantum computing, for example, right now is not developed. It's being developed. I mean, there's quantum computers already owned by a few companies only, but still we're far away. Quantum computing is a very powerful computers that have, I don't know, 10,000 times more the power of the current computing. And again, it comes with a great power comes a great responsibility, which is Spider-Man 2010. In this case, we are talking about that hacking is very easy with those computers. Right now, we're on the binary computing, zeros and ones. If you don't know about binary computing, better look at that. But in this case, we're talking about hacking will be much easier. So the whole system has to be changed in order for us to handle quantum computing. So just forget about this one. Okay. So in this case, how do we approach emerging technology? So technology networking from conferences, from symposiums, from seminars, people is sharing their technology. We also have from crowdsourcing. There's some websites where people discuss about the current technology, what is important, what is new, what is trending, etc. I'm going to share some links with you. Technology hunting, the same thing. Companies are trying to look to attract different technologies that are in early stages, invest in them on trying to make them grow. And technology mining through data, through journals, researching pretty much. So we have all these areas of technology, and we can implement different technologies by doing research in many different types according to our needs. That's it for today. So thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week.